Hey guys, it's Justin Goodbread here with Financially Simple. So, as you know, we're dealing with a coronavirus and it is wreaking havoc on small business owners. I was on the phone last night till about 9:30 at night dealing with small business owners and some of the problems that they're experiencing, some of which are not their own cause. In fact, I would dare say that a lot of the frustrations and a lot of the decisions that we as small business owners are having to make is candidly just a result of the current situation. But I want to take a moment here and give you a little bit of insight into how I'm viewing this coronavirus and some things that we as business owners can do to help encourage and help strengthen the economy going forward. I heard it said one time that we should bet on the entrepreneur every single time. We should bet on the entrepreneur. And I agree with that statement. You know, the vast majority of businesses in our country are small businesses like mine and yours. And as small business owners, we carry a lot of weight. We have a lot of decisions to make, and we have a lot of people to whom we trust and whom we love that are going to be impacted by the decisions that we are doing our best to make. So I want to put some framework around the decision-making process during this coronavirus. If you remember in your mind's eye, back in January and February, before February the 19th, our economy was booming. We were actually on track at about a 3.3 GDP rate on an annual average, which is an unbelievable growth rate. The hiring, the sheer amount of people that were hired dropped our current unemployment rate to an all-time low yet again. Inflation was actually starting to peak up because the economy was so strong. And lo and behold, something hit us out of right field that we didn't expect called the coronavirus. And it is now, we're having to make some decisions that honestly, we didn't think we were going to have to do. Whenever these times come, I always like to add a little bit of perspective to my life. And I want to challenge you to do the same thing. In order for me to add perspective to my life, one of my go-to methods is a SWOT analysis, a S-W-O-T, a SWOT analysis. Yeah, I had to look at my notes here because I can't spell very good, folks, but you understand what I'm trying to say. On a SWOT analysis, we're dealing with those things which are our strengths, our weaknesses, our opportunities, and our threats. So during this time of tribulation and turmoil and chaos, I want you, the business owner, to take a moment and breathe, take a deep sigh, realize that God's already got everything under control, but take an honest assessment of your business. If you went back in your mind's eye to January and February before this all transpired, what was strong about your particular business? What were you proud about? I want you to list 3 things down and be specific. If you have a rock star team, that's one of the things that I'm most proud about is our team. I'm telling you, our team in our office is rock stars. I mean, I was just bragging on them yesterday, and someone actually mentioned who just knows a team. They said, dude, you have an unbelievable team. If that's one of your strengths, write it down and make sure you let the team know that's one of your strengths. But I'd like for you to write down 3 strengths. If after that, I want you to look at your 3 weaknesses. You know, in my particular company, one of our weaknesses are our systems. We've grown at a rapid pace, and now we're having to backfill on our systems. So whenever I can identify the weaknesses of my business, and you can identify the weaknesses of your business, we now can prepare and fix our businesses during these trying times. So what are we doing? We're focusing on our weaknesses and trying to get them strong, so when we come out of this thing, we're ready to roll. Now's a great time for you to focus on your weaknesses. Not only that, but your opportunities. If you had to do January and February over again, I'm using those 2 months because it's just recent history, but if you had to do those over again, what would you have done differently that would have impacted your desires and your business, your values and your mission? What would you have done differently? Perhaps you would have done a different marketing strategy. Perhaps you would have done a different bonus structure. Perhaps you would have done something different as it relates to customer satisfaction surveys. Whatever it is, write down your opportunities. I want you to get at least 3 of them down. And then finally, threats. Now, the obvious threat is the coronavirus. The obvious threat for many people right now is the shutdowns that we're dealing with. Last night, I was on the phone, like I mentioned, late in the day, and because of the American Dental Association has asked dentists to suspend their treatments of various type of procedures. That's a huge disruptor for a business. That's a major threat. So as you identify these strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, what I'd like for you now to do is to run that through a strategic plan. How are you going to deal with those strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats? And I want you to be specific about those. Now is the time. We're dealing with chaos. Whenever you deal with chaos, you must plan. When you're planning, get specific. When you're specific, you can yield results. Okay? So one of the best ways that I know how to yield results in my business and that we teach our clients is to do strategic planning. And like Justin, I've heard you mention strategic planning. Yes, on the podcast Financially Simple, we spent probably 40 or so episodes dealing with the strategic planning process. You're welcome to check it out on any type of major podcast venue like iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you like to listen to. You may also view it at financiallysimple.com, or on the homepage you can look at strategic planning. It's right there. But one of the things we can do right now as business owners is to focus on strategic planning. Remember, this is just temporary. This pain and this frustration, this fear that many of us have is temporary. Life is too good. This is not going to take us down, okay? But we want to know how we're going to prepare to come out of this troubling time victorious, triumphant, and in a position that we've postured ourselves to succeed even greater than before. I want you to remember something. The tallest trees grow in the valley. I saw that last year when I was in Idaho doing some hunting. On the very top of the mountain, the trees were very small, but in the very bottom, man, there were some trees that I couldn't even get my arms around. The most fertile soil is in the valley. And right now, many business owners are going through a period of time where it feels like you're in the valley. I understand that. Right now is whenever we're planting those seeds, so whenever the times turn and whenever this troubling time it ceases, now what we do today is going to help us come out of that time period. So my challenge to you is this: pause, do a little bit of planning, do a little bit of coaching with your team. Start with a SWOT analysis and then move to strategic planning. Look, if you don't know how to do this, if you need help with this, we have a course that you're welcome to check out on financiallysimple.com. It walks you through exactly how to conduct a strategic plan. It's the exact same process that we walk clients through, hundreds of clients through to help them double their net worth every 3 to 5 years. That's one of my personal goals. My job at this time is to be calm. My job at this time is to provide you some hope. My job during this time is to give you some rational thinking that you can do that'll help you and your business succeed, not only during the good times, but also when times are a little bit turbulent like they are now. Hey, look, I realize that life is hard. I do. Life is hard. But life is good. You know, we're blessed people. Think about this. I want you to get a little perspective to the craziness that we're hearing. I will go home tonight, and most likely you will, and we'll see our families. And we'll have food to eat. And we'll have shelter over our heads. Friends, we're already in the top 5% of the world's population just right there. So life is good despite what we're dealing with, and life is frustrating. I realize how frustrating it is right now to be a business owner. I understand that. I'm dealing with it personally. I'm hearing it from a lot of business owners right now and the frustrations and uncertainty that they're having to do. Let's remember to make our lives at least financially simple. And most importantly, more than ever, you've got to go out and make it. You have to make it a great day. Y'all take care.